Hello. The car behind me is a MK3 Supra, and I've been thinking about making a video series for YouTube when I'm working on it. All the previous work that I've done to it has been long gone. I've owned the car for 4 years now, more than 4 years. I did the whole body, repainted. Everything has been disassembled at some point, like the well, just everything. The engine, everything has come out at some point of its journey while I've been owning this car. But now I think it's time to make the engine compartment a bit more pretty, and maybe upgrade some of its electronics and so on. But I think I'll make a short video, like a series of working on this car. Since now it's winter time in Finland, it's gonna last a few months. This car ain't going nowhere, so I have pretty good time to work on it also, and try to enjoy. Yeah. And the first thing that I want to say about this engine compartment is that I'm ashamed of it. It's not pretty. It's not a mess either, but it's not pretty. It could be much better. Like you can see from my S13 that I have the skills and the knowledge on how to make an engine compartment look better, like how to hide all the electronics and so on. But with this car, I've just never thought that it was kind of necessary. But let's see. Over here in the back of my garage, behind the old motorcycle, there is actually a front-facing intake manifold for a MK3 Supra. Now this is made from the original intake plenums and from a 2JZ, or is this the plenum from a 2JZ, and the runners are from a 7M GTE, and they are matched together. And as you can see, it's pretty ready to go on the machine. But if you know anything about anything with working on 7M GTEs, you know that front-facing intake manifold is not a small task to do. I do have this alternator relocation plate already. So this moves the alternator from where it sits regularly lower on the engine, so we can move this alternator down over there where you cannot see anymore. Because if you want to change the intake manifold from facing over the engine to facing front of the engine, you need to relocate quite a lot of stuff. One of them is the alternator, one is the battery. I think all of these electronics have to go, and then you need to make new boost pipes and new intercooler also, because this intercooler has both of the inlet and outlet on this side. And if I want to make a front-facing inlet intake manifold, I need to make the boost pipes or the charge pipes to go this way. It's because now they are going like this way. So as you can see, there's a lot of things to do when working on this kind of project. And I might have to take off my front bumper. I'm pretty sure I need to take it off to get the intercooler in place. And then I have to weld some aluminium pipes to make the boost pipes pretty. I need to relocate this to the back, and all the other stuff that I need to do with electronics. So it's not an easy job for a car like this. One solution could also be that I just take the whole engine out and then work all of this stuff. But I would rather do this with the engine in and then just work all the electronics and everything. Now, one thing that I want to talk about when doing all these YouTube videos about cars is that it's completely other thing to actually work on your car than just than work on your car and make a video about it. Because if I do this kind of job, I'd say it's about 3-4 days for me as a hobbyist, a car enthusiast who just works in his garage and not a professional. I'd say it takes about 3 or 4 days of hard work to get this kind of project to get it finished. But if I'm planning to video everything and edit the videos and explain what I'm gonna do next, explain what I just did and everything like that, it's gonna take much longer. I've noticed that even just changing your tires is like a 5-minute job when you're doing it by yourself. But if you're trying to explain it to the camera, look how the shot was, then explain what you just did, and then make a video about it, the 5-minute job can easily turn to 5-hour job. So, but I do these videos as an extension of my car enthusiasm, the hobby that I have. So I don't see it as a huge problem. I just see that if I start to do this kind of job, then it's gonna take a lot of more time, because I decided that I'm gonna film it also. But I think it can be useful for somebody other than me, and it can work as a journal also for me. So that's one reason that I'm deciding to make this video, that I want to keep a journal where I'm going and what has happened and everything, so I can remember things a bit better maybe by myself also. But I have removed this intake manifold already before, and everything around the engine when I did the head gasket for this car. I put a multi-layer metal head gasket with the ARP studs and everything, and it's got the Lexus LS400 MAF casing with the 550cc injectors and a Garrett GT35 turbo. So I haven't been to the dyno with this thing quite yet, but I run it on solid 1 bar boost. So I don't know what it's making. Probably something around 350 to 400 horsepower from the crank or from the flywheel. It's not that super powerful, but it's nice to drive. So I might as well just start it up for you so you can see. So let's just hit the negative terminal here, like that, and take the key. Can hear it, but it's a really deep rumble that this car makes. The sound that it makes, it's a really deep voice, really deep tone. Especially comparing to the RB20 that I have in the S13. This 3-liter straight 6 with a turbocharged engine, it's a really deep sound that it makes, and I love it. And this has a Tane EDFC system, so I can control my suspension from here. These are for the radiator fans, voltage, water temp, boost naturally, or vacuum, and then oil temperature, which has no sensor on. That's why it shows like that. But anyway, one problem that I'm having with this car right now is the power steering. I can show it to you if I just... There we go. With the power steering, I noticed that this power steering is leaking somewhere. First of all, because of the sound that it makes, but second, because it makes this foam. So as you can see, there's the forbidden milkshake. So it's leaking air somewhere from where the power steering pump is sucking in all the oil. It's dragging air into the oil also. That's why it's making that kind of foam. And I need to check on those hoses also while I'm at it, where it's leaking the oil, where it's leaking the air into the system. So it's not power steering anymore as good as it could, and it's making that oil because this car has been just sitting for, I'd say, almost 2 years now. I haven't been driving it, and yeah, so there's a lot of work to do with this car, but like I said, it's winter time and now we have all the time that we need. So let's get to it. Right, so I've been just removing the basic charge pipes, the battery, and some of the EDFC cabling, and now I've been removing this. This is the throttle body, and I have no idea why, but 3 of these bolts were 10 millimeters, and the one down here was a 12 millimeter. But anyway, now I'm getting the throttle body out. Then I'm gonna take all these throttle cables and these all out. This is the idle control valve. I'm gonna take that off and then remove everything out of the way so I can get this whole side of the engine as clear as possible first. One thing that I always do when I'm working on a bigger project like this is that I mark my connectors, because like this is the throttle cable, I mean the throttle body connector. I mark it down because after a while you're gonna get a bunch of these weird connectors and you don't know where they're going, and when you're making the new assembly you gotta figure out how much you need, maybe make these wires a bit longer or even change the plugs. So it's a good thing to have these. This 15-second job at this point is gonna save you 15 minutes later, so just do it. Now I've got the alternator out, and I gotta say, Toyota in their 80s, this alternator bracket that goes connected to the head, it doesn't have just 1 or 2 bolts, it has 3 of these huge bolts, and I think this is a casted piece. I'm pretty sure that the alternator would have stayed on with a little less also, but anyway, this bracket is for the alternator, and the wires are just coming off under this fuse box here. The 2 wires, I mean, this is I think it's a big ground, or possibly the charging cable. And then there is this connector that is this kind of, and good thing that I noticed, but these wires are all messed up. One of them is completely broken, so it was hanging on by its dear life so much that it has actually gone all black from the possibly from heat, and now it just snapped off, so I need to replace that. And also one of the wires, the brown one, which I think could be well, it's something that also needs to be replaced. So this is the kind of stuff that you find when you're working on a 34-year-old Toyota. And like I said, just the idea is to just change front-facing intake manifold, but all of this extra work is gonna be included. So this is gonna take a while. And now, like all great YouTube channels in the world, it's time to thank our sponsors. Yes, I don't have any. And if somebody did want to sponsor my YouTube channel, I would think they're kind of funny. But I'm open to suggestions. So yeah, thank you. This is the stuff that I have removed from the engine bay so far. So there's the alternator, some charge pipes, the idle control valve, and the huge, humongous alternator bracket, which is, it even weighs a ton. This is just cast iron, and it's huge piece. Like I said, I think the alternator is not going anywhere. And one of them, well, also the battery is out. So here's the battery, and I took a box to place all the bolts and nuts for the Supra project, like this. Well, gonna need the pen, but all the bolts and nuts and everything is going in this box over here. Well, since it's not a maintenance job, I'm not gonna probably need all of these later, but I just think it's a good habit to sort these out. But from previous jobs that I've done, I know that some of the bolts, they just leave, I just don't use them anymore, like the rusted ones. And I have these boxes that I call the million boxes. That's right, I call them the million boxes because they have million different kind of bolts and nuts from all different kinds of projects that I've done during my time. And whenever you need something that you don't have at that moment, you're gonna find it from those boxes. I can assure you. I mean, those boxes have everything that you need. So yeah, that's why I keep those. But anyway, during the project, I'm gonna use this box for the Supra. And once the project is finished, I'm gonna empty this to one of those million boxes. But now let's get back to work. By the way, while I'm at it, I want to show you guys this cool system that I invented. I designed these kind of brackety thingies, and these are for spray bottles, quite obviously. It's just the top part and the bottom part, like that. And I 3D print these, and once you get a spray bottle, you just click it there, place it like that. And I think this is the best kind of system so that you can always see what the spray bottle is, because I have these other kind of solutions for spray bottles also, like the like this one. You mount it on a wall like that, and then you take a spray bottle and you put it on. That's also okay, but I prefer that set that I have designed myself because it's so cheap to print those. I mean, it takes less than 10 grams of material to print those, and you can find them from Thingiverse. So yeah, just wanted to show you that also. All right, note to myself, this little hose that goes in here is connected to all of these pipes and hoses that go under the intake manifold, and it looks like a lot of fun to sort these out. I can't wait to get to sort these all out, but looks kind of fun. All of these vacuum hoses that has a million kinds of different kinds of connectors and everything. Well, I'm gonna sort them out. Anyway, there's gonna be a lot of cleaning up to do with this engine also once everything is removed. But yeah, the intake manifold is pretty much out. I Is there still some bolts left? Nope, I don't think so. So it's just held on by the seal glue with the intake manifold seal. But one thing that I noticed was that there's a banjo under here. So the intake manifold in the center, there's a banjo connector here, and when I removed it, there was a bunch of gas. So a bunch of gas just shut out when I did remove this one. So I'm not entirely sure why there's gas so much, but it could be, well, it has to be from the injectors, but it's in that point of the intake. Well, I need to figure out why there was so much gas in there. It could be just some kind of buildup or something, but also the throttle body. Look how much soot there is inside this manifold. I mean, this is just looks like one of those sausages that my dad makes when he's doing barbecue. But yeah. So I got the intake manifold off, and the banjo bolt that I took off also was it's connected to something. So I don't know what the hell that is, but it's, for some reason, it's kind of a, could this be like a knock sensor on the intake manifold? Because it kind of looks like one, but a banjo bolt, I don't know. I need to look that up, what the hell this is. But anyway, I'm gonna take the connector out, remove the intake manifold, and it's starting to look like catastrophe over here. If you're not a car person, then this is pretty hopeless to see, but it's only the beginning of our journey. So let's move on. So this banjo friend of ours comes directly from the fuel rail, and that's why there was gas in it. I think this is this has to do with cold start. So it injects more fuel into the system when the engine is cold. And that's why there's also a sensor in it. It opens and closes the thing. I'm not entirely sure if this is something that's needed in a car like this. I need to look it up if people have ever removed these, but seems kind of funny system. But all right, moving on. Do you want to know what's the difference between this engine compartment and my underwear? Well, there's only one little hose in my underwear. But I removed a bunch of little hoses from this engine compartment, and this is the one that was connected to the side of my intake manifold. And I'm pretty sure that it's not really connected to anything. So it looks like that, and we're just gonna get rid of it. It was connected only to the fuel pressure regulator and to this little hose that goes from the edge of from the front of the engine, and I'm pretty sure that this is the thing that just adds a bit higher idle when you're turning the steering wheel. So it's coming from the power steering line that it gives a bit more air so that the engine revs up a little, so that it's easier to rotate your steering wheel. So I'm not gonna need that one anymore in the future. But anyway, now the intake manifold is off. I'm gonna go and have a good night's rest and continue this tomorrow. So bye for now. All right, hello. Again, another day with the Supra, and today I think I'm gonna remove the runners. That's actually quite interesting. There's rusty water on the runners. I think it has come there from this pipe, which was connected to the throttle body, and also this one. This was also connected to the throttle body, and I'm not gonna use those anymore. So I'm just gonna connect this one directly to that, wherever they come from. Once I get these runners off, I get to see a lot more, so let's take that off. Alright, I have the injectors out. So these are 550cc injectors. I've got the fuel rail off naturally also, and the runners and the intake and everything. It was a pain in the ass, I gotta say, but now the new intake is on and you can kind of see how it's gonna look. It's looking like a disaster right now, I know. There's wires everywhere, loose hoses and everything. But the new intake is on and you can see how it's gonna fit. So that's how it's gonna come over, and the throttle body is gonna connect here. I have to remove this. This also, I don't even know what this is, but it was here. Had to remove that. The alternator could not be in place. Actually, I'm not quite sure if it could be in place, because this goes so much further here. I gotta try that, because that would be the first one to have the alternator here. But I think this is gonna hit it. Anyway, I have to remove the battery here, naturally. It can't stay here, so all of this has to go. So I can make the boost pipes come over here and then go directly to the intercooler and then to the turbo. But from the turbo I think it's rather easy, because the stock piping comes directly like this, then the intercooler is like this, so I just need to build the boost pipe maybe only for this part. But that's like 0.005% of this total work, because the main job that I'm gonna have is with the wiring. I think this is gonna be a sight, and I think I might get rid of these electric fans that I have. I don't think these are really good. I have the electronic thermometer also. It's snoozing the coolant temperature from here, from the upper water hose, and then there's a adjustable thermostat that connects to the fans, so that you can, and there's also manual switches inside the car. But I think if I would just get the original fan that's in the on the water pump, I don't think I would have to worry about those electronics anymore. So I might get rid of all that. I have the similar system in the Nissan, but that's completely for another reason, because this is a track car and I want to keep it electric, so that if the engine dies, I can still have the fans blowing. But with this engine, this is just a cruiser car, not for tracks or anything. So I might just change it to the original stock fan with the hydro clutch. But this is looking promising. It's gonna look good once I get all this wiring and all the plumbing and everything sorted out as cleanly as possible. I might try to get them under the intake manifold, maybe, just to make it a bit more clean looking. So I might try to hide everything under there. And yeah, I see lots of wire connectors and extensions in my future when I'm looking at this. So, but I'm used to that. I did almost the entire last summer, I did the electronics for this car, and pretty much everything had to be remade. So it's okay, I'm used to it. But I also remember that it's not fun to do with these old electronics. If the wires are crumbled or anything, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. Also, one thing that I could do is that since this car has two O2 sensors now, I might replace both of them with one, so that I can get, like I have in the Nissan, it's a PLX one, that's it's a wideband O2 sensor that can also send to the ECU a narrowband system or signal, so I could replace both of those with a better O2 sensor and have a wideband gauge inside the car. So I might change that system also while I'm doing all of this. But now I think I'm done for today again. This has taken me quite a lot of time actually to disassemble all of this, and then the next time I have to sort out what all of these electronics are and how I'm gonna reroute them and where I'm gonna put them. One of my favorite places is the glove box, so I can change the all of these wires and transfer them to the glove box and bring them from there to the engine compartment. So that's one opportunity, but I need to sort that out. But I think this video has already taken so much time that I'm gonna make this to one video and wrap up this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Sorry I didn't get everything done in one video. Personally I hate those videos that are in many sections, like many chapters of one build. I like to see everything in one video from beginning to finish, but this is gonna take a lot more time, so I think it would be something like an 8-hour video if I'm completed everything just to make one video. So yeah, see you next time. Thank you for watching.